Well, hello, Tamara. What brings you in today?
Well, my job recommended that I talk to somebody. It's been a pretty rough year. I think I got some anxiety and depression going, and it's causing me to have some physical issues.
Okay.
And I'm starting to notice a change in behavior at my job. I guess I didn't think it was that bad,
hmm
but my job is recommending that I see someone about it.
Okay. So could you explain to me how you feel when you're depressed?
Really sad, tired. Um, I don't want to come out of my pajamas. I'd like to, if I have to go to work, even just go to work in my pajamas. I don't want to comb my hair. I don't want to leave the house. I want to kind of isolate. And then if I do leave the house, I can still feel that internal isolation where I'm just going through the motions, like just going to the store, just going to work, and, just not that upbeat type thing that I feel on a regular.
Uh, can you explain to me why you feel as though you're going through depression
I feel bad for my son.
for your son?
Yeah, my oldest son. I feel really sad for him, and I feel really sad for my grandson.
Can you tell me why you feel sad for your son, grandson?
Last March, my son got off work and went to go see a friend of his. And when he got off work, he had his dad drop him off in a really not so good neighborhood. And when his friend wasn't home, his dad had already pulled off and he was walking to his girlfriend's house late at night. And some guys rode up on him and basically, to summarize it, they robbed him and they shot him.
Okay.
And when the police came to my door, they told me that he had been shot. I didn't, I guess I did know what it looked like. I think in my mind, I thought it was just, he's just shot and in the arm or the leg or something, and that he was just going to come home.
Okay.
Well, when we got there, he was back in surgery, and he was back there for a significant amount of time. And the doctor came back and said there was a lot of internal swelling and bleeding,
Okay.
and that they had to take him back in surgery. So then the doctor came back another 2 hours later and told me that he was on a ventilator and that there was extensive damage to his liver, his kidney, his spleen, his some other areas. Just
Okay.
a lot of damage internally.
Okay.
And he was in ICU. And when I went back there, he was on a life support. He couldn't breathe on his own. And that's when I realized how serious it was.
Okay.
And so I was in a state of shock.
Okay. So, what about your grandson?
My son was in the hospital for about for a full continuum of recovery, including rehab,
hmm
at the hospital for about 4 months, four and a
hmm
half months. He's got a little boy.
hmm
And every time he would come up to the hospital to see daddy, he wanted him to get up. And
Okay.
he couldn't. And my grandson didn't understand. So it was pretty traumatic to see his dad in that bed and wanted him to get up and do some things and just didn't understand that daddy was sick. And so it was a while before we took him up there because we didn't want to see him on the tubes and stuff like that. We didn't want to traumatize him. We tried to avoid that trauma. After he got home, my son got home from the hospital. He was home probably about 30 days. And then we got a phone call in the middle of the night that his baby mama, my grandson's mother, had been murdered in front of my grandson. And that my grandson had been locked in that house with her dead body for about 18 hours.
Um, So you have went through a lot this past year.
Yeah.
Um, that so tell me what you and your son's relationship has been like.
Rocky. It's been an emotional journey and a mental one. Both my son and my grandson suffer from severe PTSD.
hmm
My son's 26. When they told him he would never walk again, um, it was enough of the mental aspect of being shot,
hmm
but he couldn't come to terms with being paralyzed. And then he ended up clinically depressed and on all kinds of meds. And then he hadn't even accepted the fact that he may never walk again. And I say may because I'm always a firm believer in that, hope.
Mhm.
But he knows he hadn't even fully accepted what happened to him, and then he turned around and lost his high school sweetheart. And so he's angry and he's bitter and he lashes out. And why I would like to believe, I tend to meet him where he's at, no matter how angry he gets or how frustrated he gets. But then there are just those days I feel like I coddle him too much and I enable him. And so some days I'm there harder than others.
Okay, so you said he lashes out at you,
He does.
and how does that make you feel?
Hurt.
Hurt.
It hurts, and it makes me feel like everything that I've been working for. Okay, let me reiterate that statement. I'm trying my best.
Okay.
And when he gets that way, I want to fix it for him. I want that to go away for him.
Okay.
And I feel sad and I get frustrated.
Okay.
And in the whole year, March, April, May, June, July, in almost the whole year and a half, I think I've lashed out back maybe twice.
Okay.
And I've taken quite a bit. From I hate you, you're not my mom, and you need to get me out of this chair, to you name it, and then he moved past the verbally abusive piece of it and calling me names and stuff and told me how much he loves and appreciates me, but I still notice I catch the grunt of it,
So what I'm hearing is that he's lashing out at you personally whenever you try to help him or whenever you try to um, um, lead him into trying to help himself.
Absolutely.
He lashes out at you,
He does.
and I'm hearing that really upsets you,
It does.
and then you have your grandson who also has some mental health problems that he's dealing with as well.
Absolutely.
And so you seem to have a lot on your plate that you have to carry.
I do.
Do you feel as though you're a strong person?
Some days, but some days I don't want to be. Some days I don't want to be strong. I want to be vulnerable. I want to be weak. I only say that to say, I just think some days I just don't want to be strong. It's not that I don't want to be responsible. It's just that there are just days where I try so hard to be the glue that holds this family together.
Mm-hmm.
But I think about, well, who's holding me together?
Okay.
And there are a lot of negative people in my family. So when this whole thing started, everybody came together. And we ended up like 75 people in the ICU, bringing food and just real supportive and loving. And then it became, you need to stick him in a nursing home when he leaves. You can't take care of him. And you need to let them take care of him. You're not going to be able to do it. And I just had all these people who were either telling me they were going to help me or telling me what they thought I needed to do and how they just knew I couldn't care for him.
So at the beginning of his incident, everyone was your family was supportive and helping you out, and it seems like what I'm hearing now is that you're by yourself.
Not quite by myself, physically. Like my daughter has been the biggest help. Like she tried to let my son stay with her, but that didn't go well. There was a huge fallout with that, but she did try, But then she's been there for my grandson. So like when I can't leave work to get him from school because of behavior, she'll take off and do it. Or whenever he's got an emergency, she'll pick up my slack. Or whenever he's sick, she'll take care of him because I'm dealing with Javion on my job. So she's been a huge piece of his care along with her boyfriend. But the mental aspect is a lot for a 20-year-old to take in. And I feel some days I can't talk to her Not because I don't think she will understand, but that's a lot of weight to put on a 20-year-old, you know?
Okay.
And so I think that's why they recommended I come and talk to a professional.
Okay. So what I'm hearing that you do have help with your daughter. Your daughter's help, but your help is not as large as it was at the beginning, and which is putting more strain not only on you, but it seems like on your daughter too. You know, and it's hard on you.
It's very hard. You ever seen a cartoon or a superhero that tries to hold the building up all by itself and you see the muscles and all the veins sticking out and you see the building steady, slowly? That's what it feels like for me some days.
Yeah. So once again, I'm hearing, it's like you have to be strong. Do you feel as though you have to be strong?
Yeah. I think being strong became a part of my belief system. Where prior in my former life, I was weak in a lot of areas. Having the belief system when I was raised that I would never be anything, that I was gonna just grow up to be like my mother or whatever the names that were called or the negativity. So when I turned my life around, I developed a belief system that says I have the strength, that I know that God's not going to give me more than I can handle. But sometimes that burden is so heavy that it's like, I know you're not going to give me more than I can handle, but right now in this moment, it's probably a bit too much for me.
So do you feel as though you're turning you? So what I'm understanding is you don't want to turn out like your mom.
I haven't turned out like my mom. I love my mom. My mom has done the best with what she had.
Okay.
However, there's some things about my mother that I just didn't want to be like anymore. And I developed the strength-based belief based on my recovery, not just because of my past.
Could you tell me more about your mom and things that you have done that you didn't want to do that you picked up from your mom?
My mom's an alcoholic. My mom was abusive. My mom didn't raise me, but she raised my brothers. And when I look back on it, I need to take some level of responsibility for that because I was a spoiled little brat that my grandparents raised. So I wasn't accustomed to not having. So whenever my mom was like, she was on welfare, my mom lived on welfare checks and food stamps and stuff. And so I couldn't go over there and get new clothes and get the new toys and get to travel the world and all the stuff that my grandparents did for me. So I was pretty brattish, but my mother would get drunk and beat us. Okay. My mother was verbally abusive. My mother, I think she was resentful to me from gate because my grandparents took a lot of time to take care of me. And so here we are, 45 years later, my mother still drinks. She's not dealt with any of her unresolved issues. I grew up seeing her overdose, alcohol poisoning, verbal and physical abuse. But I do, have to say that she was a single mom. Okay. She, in her mind, was a young mom who did the best she could with what she had. She couldn't give us what she didn't have, but it took for me to become an adult to realize that. So I was a pretty awful kid, but she was a kind of a abusive mom. I won't say she was a bad person. Okay. She couldn't give us what she didn't have, and that's even from an emotional and a mental aspect, Mm-hmm. But now me and my mom are cordial and content. Mm-hmm. I need my mom at this point in my life with the regards to some support for my recovery with Jadion. Not the physical piece, but just that you can do this, sweetie. That cheerleader. I need that from my mom, and I'm struggling to kind of get that from her because my daughter will say something and she'll say, well, where do you think she gets that from? She's just like her mama, stuff like that. So I get that sarcasm and that smart stuff, or she'll get drunk and say the most egregious stuff to either myself or call it one of my kids. And so that's a part of that lack of support You know, that I had in the beginning where my mom was sober-minded. I'm here for you. You got me. Just tell me what you need. You know, it's not, I don't need money. I don't need food. God supplies all those things for me, but there's something that I need from my mother that she's not giving me. And that's hard for me.
What do you think you need from your mother?
Emotional support.
Emotional support?
Some days I just need her to tell me she loves me, that she's proud of me.
Why do you think emotional support?
Because I didn't have that from her before.
Because you didn't have that before?
Yeah. I didn't have that from her before. Not as a child, not as a teenager, young adult. When I was a drug addict, she washed her hands to me and treated her alcoholism like it was better than my addiction. And it may have been because she could keep a roof over her head. Her kids were already raised and out the house, you know? Okay. But I don't have an expectation of my mom to quit drinking because I stopped using.
Okay.
I don't have that expectation. And I keep my expectations to a bare minimum.
Okay.
But I just still feel like I need my mother. She doesn't have too much more time here.
Okay.
I want to love on her while she's here.
Okay.
And no matter how bad it gets, I just say, you know, Mom, I just need you to know I love and appreciate you. I just want to thank you for what you have done. No matter how abusive verbally she gets on that phone, how drunk she is, I just need her to know that.
Okay.
And that I mean it.
I can understand that.
So everybody that was there either told me to stick them in a nursing home and walked away from me because they didn't feel like they wanted to help, or those that did say they were going to help are gone. And a lot of it had to do with JT. I'll be honest.
Okay.
He was like tearing the house up, ready to set somebody on fire, angry. So no one knew how to deal with that, you know. But I let him come home and live with me, and now he's gone. He's living elsewhere.
Okay. How did that go? I just kept saying, feel. I felt like I kept saying.
Well, let me tell you. What I just had an appreciation for is I could tell you needed something, and you just closed your eyes, and you just kept it moving. You did. You just closed your eyes and said, and opened it back up, and the light came back on, and you just kept it moving. Did you see me do it? I got you, girl. I see you back here.
I don't know. I feel like I didn't do right.
I truly do. I think you did a great job.
I didn't see the up or downward arrow.
We don't have to use it. We can use any skill we want to. We can use any skills that we want to.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, any of them out that book. But what she does want us to do is she wants us, so I need to email this to you because you're going to need to look through this video and do a paper.
I know.
And tell her what you did use.
Right.
And that's going to let you go back and look at it.
Right.
And the great part about us doing it is if you look through this and you're not satisfied with the numbers, we can do it again.
Right.
Or we can edit it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yep. What I was going to say is,
you got 17 minutes and 59 seconds.
I do.
You was a second. Oh, it's still going.